Hey everybody, it's Brian Azrael, Hebrew Hearts. There's this song I like, Diamond Rio had, this old country song. It says, "Momma, don't forget to pray for me." I was thinking about that today. My mom died when I was a young teenager, talk about that a lot. But she was a praying woman. Didn't smoke, didn't drink, didn't cuss, drug us to church. My dad sold drugs, but she drug us to church. Kind of a strange way to grow up. But a praying woman. And she passed away when I was 14. She knew she was dying, and I think she did a lot of praying that the environment my brother and I were in wouldn't affect us in a completely negative way. And I think she prayed that people would always be watching out for us. Part of that's like that Book of Timothy thing where the only widows that got supported were those who had a good reputation for hospitality and praying and taking care of people and being faithful to their husbands, etc., etc., etc. And that's the widows that got taken care of. But I think sometimes that's the orphans got taken care of too, who had parents like that, because a lot of people did a lot of things to watch out for my brother and I because of who my mom was, and they knew my mom, that they would for other people. And that's, some of that could be attributed to small town. We knew your mother, she was my best friend, or we went to high school together, this kind of thing. And a lot of it, though, when I left where I grew up at, and I joined the military and went to 5 different colleges, and lived in like Mississippi and North Carolina and Germany and Texas, Oklahoma, and traveled to other countries other than Germany. There were these people who never knew my mom, never heard of my mom, but they were still kind of watching my back, which is hard to explain. It's supernatural. And I think a lot of that was Mama praying, and Perry Stone talks about Grandma's prayer. Grandma's prayers are the reasons a lot of us are still here in the supernatural. And I've been in some trouble before, different things. In college, I had a lot of classes I shouldn't have passed. A lot of colleges I shouldn't have gotten into, probably. A lot of other kinds of trouble in my life. But the strange part was, there is always somebody, somehow, watching my back that I didn't know. Some of them weren't even Christians. When I was made homeless, I lived in Germany, lived in Georgia going through a divorce, get made homeless. One of my coworkers is a proclaimed, professing feminist, atheist, liberal Democrat. It's like, total opposite of my value system, but her and her husband took me in for 3 days. Made me food, took me in out of nowhere. I knew a lot of believers that didn't really help a lot, but this lady's a feminist, atheist, liberal Democrat. Volunteered, let me stay with them for 3 days, just out of nowhere. I really can't explain that. I'm in the military. Last couple weeks in the military, I was Chief Master Sergeant, totally out to get me, just out for blood, out to get me, I think. And I had this major, the squadron commander, I know I met like 3 times. He's called me to the office and sit down. He's like, "Yeah, don't do the salute, don't do all that. Just sit down, tell me what's going on." So I told him what's going on. And I think he kept me out of a lot of trouble. He helped me get out of the military with honorable discharge and all that good stuff. But I had that overhead protection. Someone, once again, this is Oklahoma, never knew my mother. The Section 8 housing job I had when I was made homeless, that's in Georgia. That lady never knew my mom. I'm in Oklahoma, about to get out of the military after, doing my 4 years. And this Chief Master Sergeant's out to get me, but this major of my squadron never knew my mother from anybody. Totally watching my back. I was in boot camp. I had some troubles in boot camp. Can't shine shoes for one thing. Sergeant didn't like me, but I think he was a chief master sergeant or senior master sergeant over all the the unit I was in boot camp. He's watched my back, you know. And I've been so many countries and so many places. There's just a recurring theme of, like, supernaturally, someone was placed in that geography before I got there, is watching over me. Someone was placed in that position of authority before I got there, is watching over me. This is always someone I didn't know, or I barely knew. It had real no connection to me. Someone I couldn't do anything at all for. Whether it be the captain I had in Germany, that led a Bible study, is watching my back, or the senior master sergeant in boot camp, or the major in Oklahoma in the military, or the feminist atheist in Georgia, or my numerous college professors, or all these people that gave me a job or helped me stay in the military or pass a college class I probably shouldn't have passed, or in the schools I shouldn't have gotten into, or gotten to apartments I shouldn't have gotten into, or been able to get a car I shouldn't be able to get. There's just always somebody placed there before I got there, geography-wise. They got put there in a position of power before I could ever meet them, and they're just placed. They're established. Like, Yahweh sees our path, and He just puts somebody in the places we're going to go next. And I think a lot of my mom, like, before she died when I was 14, she did a lot of praying, and you know, I was like, okay, here's Brian's life. Here's all the places Brian is going to go, all the times he's going to be in trouble, and I'm going to put people in his path. Before he gets there, I'm going to make sure they're placed there even months or years before he gets there. They're going to be lined up to help him out. Like, I needed a job when I was a teenager. There's always people who want to work at grocery stores. It's the only real decent job in town that you won't lose a finger at, like a sawmill or something. And this guy named Doug actually ran a grocery store there, and my mom was really nice to him in high school. Most people weren't, so he hired me, and he actually ended up not just hiring me. He bought me some shoes. I didn't have shoes in junior high and high school. He bought me some khakis and shirts, and just gave me a box full of clothes. The eye doctor we went to, I almost lost my eyeball. He gave me this big winter coat and this box full of clothes, and just every time I turned around growing up, somebody's like, I need your mom, or your mom's such a sweet lady, here you go, if you need this, and this, we'll help you out. And I thought I'd lose that, join the military. And I joined the military, same thing. People never knew anybody in my family. Same thing. And then get out and go to college, and you get out of college, and if you're there, and just everywhere I go, there's somebody placed there. Watch Brian's back. And at that point, I knew it couldn't be just natural, but like I said, these are Mom's prayers. She's praying a year or two before she died, and there's just people lined up all throughout the rest of my life. There are people lined up to watch over me that I don't know from Adam. Half of them aren't Christians, aren't Messianics, aren't Jews, aren't anything. Last people in the world I would expect to help me out with anything. One of the biggest ones, one of the best ones, I've been the most help. I met him right he got out of prison. And my mom was like, before she died, like, whatever you do, promise me you won't hang around that guy. And he ended up like half raising me. So that was a surprise. I think, like Perry Stone said, a lot of us are still alive because of Grandma's prayers, or because of Mama's prayers. But it's that divine overwatch. So never underestimate the power of a father's blessing, which a lot of us didn't have, but never underestimate the power you have to pray over those kids and grandkids. It really does carry a long way, even when you weren't there. Even with people you've never met. God will place people in there like it all that is mapped through life. Just go out, those kids are going to take their life. Whether they're in prison or the military or college or overseas or wherever they're at, He can place people there that you've never met, you've never heard of, and you would never expect to watch over them, but to be a covering for them wherever they go. And that's just monumentally important to have Mama's prayers watching out for you, and that she asks Yahweh to assign people to be there when you need them. Chuck Brodsky has a song that says, "We are each other's angels, and when we meet when it is time. We keep each other going, and we show each other signs." It's always felt like an angelos means messenger. It can be a human messenger, or a human agent, or it can be a spiritual messenger, spiritual agent. But it's someone that God sends to deliver a message or to do a certain task. And I think I've probably met a lot of both. So just be encouraged. And praying over those babies will have effects. And I saw a lot of the Boys and Girls Club where I worked at. I worked at the Inner City Boys and Girls Club as an academic tutor. This place is pretty rough sometimes. We took the kids on a field trip one night and came back, and we had to circle the parking lot for like an hour, or circle around the block like an hour, because the police were there picking up bullet casings. Somebody had gotten shot in the parking lot of the Boys and Girls Club while we were out. And there were certain kids there that had the divine protection too. And they just acted different. They were just different. You just feel like Yahweh had his hands on them. And sure enough, over a couple weeks or months, you meet grandma. You meet the praying grandma every time. The praying mama or praying grandma shows up. Oh, that's why they miraculously don't get in trouble like everybody else does. I had to a preacher. He saw about his daughter that she would do some wild and crazy stuff, but he always prayed for her before she went to college. She's like, "Dad, I just had this sense to leave the party like 20 minutes every time before the cops came. I had a sense to leave this party. I'd always leave right before something bad happened or somebody went to the hospital or something. She had this nudge to go." And that's happened to a lot of us, those kind of situations. Just that divine protection that children without that in their family don't have. Never think that's you. You're just your good looks or charm or wit or whatever getting you out of these things. So I can almost guarantee you it's entirely supernatural. I thought for a little bit maybe there's just something about me that these people like that is getting me out of these things. And then I tried to lean on that. It didn't work. I got in trouble like everybody else, maybe more. So just be thankful for whoever prayed for you. It caused you to get out of these things all the time. Be thankful for them and pray they keep doing it, and be thankful to God that He listened to whoever's prayers it was, and they gave you an overwatch you didn't deserve. An overwatch it's nothing like in the military when, like the Army and the Marines, are kicking indoors. There's someone on top of a rooftop with a sniper rifle watching their back, making sure no one comes in behind them and gets them, or make sure there's another sniper up there. There's someone at an elevated position watching over them. And God works like that. He puts people to watch over you. It places them before you get to that destination in life, before you get to that stop on the map. So all the mamas out there, and grandmas, and even dads and grandpas, aunts and uncles, older brothers and sisters, just keep that overwatch up. It does more good than you'll know. I've seen it my entire life. My boss at the grocery store, to co-workers, to commanders of squadrons, the college professors, the police officers and judges and lawyers, and all sorts of people I've been involved with that just had like some kind of weird supernatural favor that they took it upon themselves to watch out for Brian. So I don't think any of that's me making that happen. Definitely not bragging about it. I've just seen it happen. I think it goes back to Mama's prayers and God having a special affinity for Mama's prayers, because I was not very friendly terms with God for many, many years, but that overwatch still existed. My black nail paint and rice days, I still had that overwatch. And my little brother did too. He's gotten out some stuff I can't even explain at all. I don't think anybody can explain, especially legally. I don't think anybody can explain any of that. But pray over those kiddos. Start when they're young. I have 2 daughters. I pray over them. There's 3 little girls in Florida I got sent to pray over that are very dear to my heart, and I'm not entirely sure I'll ever see them again or not, but I hope that carries through the rest of their lives. Someone's praying over and watching out for them. I know their mama is and their grandma, but just a little extra wouldn't hurt. But I have faith that praying over them will carry them through somehow, that it will affect them somehow, that just a little extra layer of protection over what's already there with them and with other kids in my life too. I felt led to pray over, watch over. and God put somebody in your heart. Just don't be like, well, that's not my response. I'm not their parent. I'm their grandparent. Or I'm not their parent. I'm their uncle. I'm not their parent. I'm their parent's friend. It doesn't matter. If God wants you to pray over that person, or either like directly there, put hands in their head, pray over them, with their parents' permission, of course, or just keep them in your prayers, or pray something specific for them, just do it. It's definitely not going to hurt anything. I don't think they're going to mind. And maybe for some reason you have a special authority in that area you don't know about, or you're going to hold a special position in their life, or you just have a special relationship with God that other people don't have, that your prayer will be more effective than someone else. But I think a police officer's prayer for protection is more powerful than the average person, or maybe a nurse's prayer for healing might be more powerful than the average person, or a teacher's prayer for certain knowledge, or a pastor's prayer for mentors and leaders coming to a child's life is more powerful in that area than the average person's, because these people have favor in that area. Which is, just watch over the kids. Just pray over them, watch over them, help out if you can. We're full of broken families and broken people and broken parents, and single parents, and no child in this culture has the protection and provision, either spiritually or physically or emotionally or socially, it was designed to have, because our society is that broken. So just don't be afraid to step in there and do what you can, especially in the prayer part, or spiritually. Just, they all need it. No matter how independent, I'm good, people claim to be, they need it. They just, we'd like to be independent, pretend we don't need anything in America. And especially young people, but they need it. They really do. So just don't be afraid to step up. Like that prayer of Jabez, that book's whack. But the concept of gets missed sometimes, because Jabez wanted his territory expanded, not because he can be the biggest real estate agent on the block, but as your territory expands biblically, you have more responsibility. You just have employees, you had servants. And a servant, they give their life to you basically, but you had much more responsibility for them than an employer would. So when Jabez prays for his territory to be expanded, that means, hey, give me the resources I need to watch out for more people. If you're an employer, expand my business so I can employ more people to lead jobs. If you're a pastor, expand my congregation so I can shepherd more people. If I'm a teacher, expand my territory so I can put good doctrine in more people's heads. If you're a parent, give me a bigger house so I can adopt more kids. Expand my territory, give me more people to watch out for. Increase my responsibility in the kingdom over the orphan, the fatherless, and the widow, and the destitute, and the alien. So just don't be afraid to be a Jabez and expand your territory in a way. And you know somebody has one parent there or one grandparent there. It's not going to hurt that child to have more people watching out for them. And those prayers do mean a lot. I can give you a mile-long testimony of the miraculous things I've been spared physically and other ways, because my mom's prayers always put somebody there to watch out for me. And just pray people be assigned to watch out for your kids when you aren't there, or your grandkids, and wherever they go and what they do, just someone be there to watch out for them. Spiritually, mentally, socially, intellectually, physically, financially, there's someone there to cover them, to cover their nakedness, in the sense of when they don't know the protocol and they don't know what to do and they don't know who to turn to, they don't know how to act, to cover that ignorance of these things, to cover over all the ways they might not measure up, or they might be ashamed or embarrassed, or they didn't know to do certain things they should have done. Just pray for somebody to cover over all that they lack, and bring them to a wholeness or a completion, just to give them favor. So, hope that helps you guys. That's a little bit of rambling. I might put that together later and redo it, but shalom to your hearts. Pray over those kids. In Jesus' name.